weeks, and then her face began to shaping, and so my daughter is beautiful, you know, like that. Before you know, he got to a stage where I now asked my wife if she can sit. They say no, that she can't sit. Or that I think she told me, is this 5 or 6 or 7 months, you know. So then we will just try to sit her. Maybe we sit her, she will just fall either backward, forward, and the rest. Then I noticed of recent, she now told me there that Mona is now sitting. That I tried, she sat for 30 seconds. I said, you are counting the something. So what I noticed is you drop her now, she can now sit. She might fall later, but not immediately. Then to get to a point where I expect her to crawl. Then there's an expectation I have of her again that after crawling, she'll be able to walk. Where I'll stand her, try to count a few steps. So that is how the life of a disciple is. I don't know if you understand. Sometimes I try to talk. She will talk back, but you know how they babble and they make. So you understand that there will be a time when I expect her to grow as much as to be able to go to school and learn and be able to call my name, do things, write her name, do a whole lot of things. Get to primary school, university, get a job, get married, and the rest. Those are expectations. I don't know if you understand. Those are the things I expect. She's not like that now, but I expect that she will fall into that category, or she will fall into that place in the nearest future. So that is how your life is as a disciple. That is why I said growth is one of the things that we find in discipleship. So you can't run away from discipleship and expect to be. Is this time? Is it correct? Okay. So you don't expect to run away from discipleship, and then you expect that you see a demon tomorrow and want to cast it out. Something happened to me. At least I can say for a fact that I like being observant. There are some things I try to observe. Sometimes even when daddy ministers and the rest. The way he does some things. I don't know if you understand. Like I remember the first time, that was when now. The first time I was called upon to baptize to I don't even know how to even put it down, or to even narrate what even happened. But at the time I was called upon to pray for someone so that the person will receive the gift of speaking in tongues. You understand? And that was my first time. But do you know what was able to help me? And in as much as that was my first time, I was doing it as a beginner, as a follower, as someone that has seen where it has been done and now wants to test it. Hallelujah. There are sometimes you test something. Like sometimes you start from your family, so that if there's anything is in house, you understand? Then when he walks, okay, you understand? And that is God helping you. He's trying to, because he knows you are growing. You understand? His job is not to frustrate that growth, is to help you. So what happened was I was a bit confused. And but what helped me that day was because I've seen where it has been done before, and then how it was done for me. Because maybe some of you started speaking like that. I don't know. That was not for me. We all have different experiences. So what helped me was that because I followed that drug, that medicine, that process, that practice has been done for me, has been done to me, and then it's working. So I'm not testing what is not working. These people that sell rats, at least I'm sure they test it in their house before they, you understand? So at least now I know it's working. But now it's how do I? So if I've not been discipled, or if I didn't follow to see how it's been done, I'll just go there and fool myself, and then maybe after 6 hours, the person will not be able to even do anything. I don't know if you understand. And then I'll just be like the disciples when Jesus Christ came down from the mount. Hallelujah. So there are too many things you think you know, but you don't know. I'm telling you. There are too many things I visited a mother figure, like she's a mother to me. But she's my mother currently. And then she complained. I met her, she was feverish. She was cold, and in fact, when I met her, she just laid on her couch and she was just shaking. And then she knows me to be a Christian first. Then she knows me to have gained a level of maturity. So she knows that at least this is what I should be expecting from this person. So how can man of God come to your house? You are sick, and then you are even shaking, and then I leave your house the same way. I don't know if you understand. Or I leave your house without even praying. That's even a different. You understand? It will look as if I'm not even compassionate. Some of the miracles, some of the healings that Jesus Christ did were out of compassion. Hallelujah. So I saw the way she was. And then I sat close to her, and then I prayed for her. And after praying for her, I think within 20 minutes, she stood up. She was able to eat, and we were even laughing. Do you know, it didn't even occur to me that she was healed. I even forgot that the Lord healed her. I forgot, because we were talking, laughing, and doing a whole lot. So later, somebody now came, visited her, and then they started talking, and then I don't remember that. Then I asked her, how are you feeling? And she said she's fine. Hallelujah. So what I'm trying to say is, this is what discipleship can do for you. Then it will now get to a point where you are now in a crusade ground. Before you even start doing some things in crusade, you can't just jump and start doing some things and then you think, because there's a level of belief, of faith you have in this God, that you can ask someone that is on a wheelchair to stand, and then on account of because you know that the God you serve will not fail, and he does not fail. Then practically you have been able to see him time after time, recurringly, that this God that I serve, if he can heal, if he can do this, that means he can. There was a time a preacher started talking about miracle money and the rest, and then he made a statement that he didn't even know that something like that exists. That he just came and prayed, and then people started talking about miracle money. He went somewhere again, he made declarations, people started receiving a lot. That is a matured believer I'm talking about, a matured, in fact, He's a very, some of us might even know him because I've called Miracle Monday. You understand? So for that person now, he has now come up to a stage where he can now come to a place and declare, because he has seen it work. I don't know if you understand. So that is how it is, because you are not just growing, or you are not just passing through discipleship to be stagnant. We expect you to grow. It should be a time where we should be able to say, okay, baptize this person. You are not the baptized, but you understand what I'm saying now. Or follow this person up. That is the growth process we are talking about now. Follow this person up. Do this. Pray for 5 hours. Do this. Lay your hands on this person. You understand? It's not because if you lay your hands and the person doesn't get healed, the intention is to shame you or so. But so that you will be able to go back and know, okay, why did it not work? Because if you ask our fathers questions, if you settle down to ask them questions, they will tell you times without number how some things did not work, or how they prayed for 8 hours consecutively for maybe 3 months, and God didn't speak to them on a particular matter. I don't know if you understand. So if you are being able to listen to them, ask questions, it's part of your growth process now. So that when you pray for 1 hour and then you are expecting manna to fall and it doesn't fall, your faith should not be shaken. It should tell you that you should, because you have seen someone who has told you that. I don't know if you understand. So there is a process in discipleship that if you skip, you just look like a malnourished child. Because whether you like it or not, that thing will still meet you. Some of those things we are running away from today, it will still meet us. Because you will be shocked one day, your neighbors will come and meet you and say, we know you now. We know you. You think we don't know you. We know you are a man sent from God. We know you are brother so, apostle so, and so. So in this matter, please help us. So how will you be able to manage that situation if you have not been able to learn from someone? Mind you, we read from the scriptures that where Paul was speaking to them that they should follow him as he's following Christ. So Paul has had issues in life before. Paul has had scars, the issues of life, pressures of this world, because he does business. He's a tent maker, and do you understand? He must have passed through. I could imagine how he was able to easily blend into Aquila and Priscilla, and then he abode with them for some days, because they will be able to learn much from him. So you see that discipleship is not something we do from afar. You can't follow somebody. That's when some people say, I'm following him, he's in Abakaliki, I'm at Malaysia, and then I'm watching videos and following tapes. There are some things you will not, in fact, there are some things you need to see. Because if you don't see, you will not be able to because you will come across those things in life. Those things will come, and that is when you'll be able to know the deficient. That's when you'll be able to know the things that, or how will I put it now? That's how you'll be able to know how malnourished you are. Hallelujah. Because among the classes, there are classes of food. You understand? They don't have the same work, but they all come together to do something. Hallelujah. So carbohydrates will supply fat and oil, vitamins, and the rest. They all come to help the body. I don't know if you understand. So what I'm trying to say is, there is no way you would stand afar and then you believe that you'll be nourished. There's no way you would distance yourself, because in distancing yourself, in that place you have friends, you have things that you listen to, you have problems, issues, family problems. Your discipler or the person ahead of you is not just to meet to your spiritual needs. There are some problems I've had that I called apostle. This is not spiritual now. That I called apostle and say, how do I do this? You understand? Okay, this is the problem. This is the problem. How do I handle this problem? And then from his wealth of experience, he will tell you, do this, remove this, add this, multiply this, and then you get the result. So how will you get that one now from watching or just reading tape, just listening to tape? So when some persons say that they are following from far, that they have 5 persons that they are following, or they have 10 persons that they are following, and they don't even have an instructor. They don't have somebody who will tell them, don't do this, do this. Because that person is following after Christ, and then you are following. In fact, you are committing yourself to that person because that person is committed to Christ. I don't know, are we lost or am I? Hallelujah. So the truth is, you can't watch from far. If not, Jesus Christ would have told Peter, continue what you are doing. I will come and meet you every 6 p.m. and then I'll just teach you, or you know where to get my tapes, or you know where to get my sermon, or in fact, there's no way you will hear that I heal somebody tomorrow. So you should know how I'm administering to the sick. I think you should know, like you should be able to hear how I'm administering to the sick, not know now, sorry. So, but there was need for discipleship. There was need for close marking. There was need for them to see, to be able to know how those things were being done. Hallelujah. So I'm totally against following from far and thinking that you will grow into maturity. You will just know in bits. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So as I said, discipleship is a commitment. It's something you have to be committed to. It's something you have to be committed to. And so this evening, I want us to, we should be able to tell ourselves the truth. You know, it's possible to be a babe and then try to show yourself, to assume you have attained. You know it's possible. Because in church these days, we tend to see a whole lot of, in church you tend to see a whole lot of eye service. You know, somebody just comes to church and then, because he can act a drama very well, we'll make him drama code, and for maturity. So if we can tell ourselves the truth, we find out that some of us are having deficiencies in some areas, but we shouldn't be seen as less. So forgetting that, just as I said, that discipleship is a lifelong thing. A lifelong process, yes. A lifelong. You never cease to be a disciple, because the moment you cease to be a disciple, you are no longer a Christian. Because you have first a disciple before you are a Christian. Just as I said, we have to see you following Christ. Just as they saw the disciples, that these persons were Christ-like. That was not about Christians. So you see that discipleship is a lifelong thing. You can't outgrow discipleship. Hallelujah. There's always a place of learning. Always a place of learning. You know, one of the foremost missionaries in, let me say, Africa, because he's actually the pioneer of indigenous interdenominational missions in Africa. Yeah, Dadibayo Famunore. Yes. You know, he visited the house of Vincent, and then he was just asking us about marriage. Hallelujah. You know, there is marriage in discipleship, but that one is he was just asking us about marriage, and then he had been married for, I think, 40-something years and the rest. And then we were just, okay, yes, we are still learning and the rest. And then he told us something. He said that he himself is still learning. A marriage of 40-something years, that he is still learning. Because there are things he still encounters daily. Hallelujah. There are things he still encounters daily. There are things he still sees daily. That he will ask himself that, what happened to 18 years ago? I didn't see this thing 18 years ago. I didn't see this thing 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I don't know if you understand. So it shows that there is always something new when it comes to marriage. So he was trying to let us know that as far as he has gone in marriage, even till date, he's still learning. So as a disciple, never allow titles crowd your head that you forget your place as a disciple. The fact that you are now being called doctor, apostle, prophet. Do you understand? Or you feel that you have, the only place you have is the place of a matured, you are now matured. Do you understand? You are still in that class, because the bottom line is that you are still following Christ, except you have stopped following Christ. Because you are following the man that is following Christ, so you are indirectly following Christ. So except you want to say you have outgone following Christ, because you now have a title. So it's a lifelong, you don't outgrow it, because it's a life process. Because you engage with the world, and because of your knowledge, because of the things you have passed through discipleship, you are not being able to stand, even though you are in the world. You are not of the world, but discipleship is now making you to be able to stand. And even though you are standing, you are not being able to carry persons along. I don't know if you understand. So you can't outgrow it. You can only be matured. You are just a matured disciple that is now being saddled with responsibility to lead others and expand the kingdom. So there is no place of there is no place of, if they call you a disciple, say me. Now me you call this, which disciple? Disciple of what? Are you not aware that even the disciples were later promoted to apostles? And even some of them were now were evangelists and prophets, like Agabus and the rest. I don't know if you understand. Or there was answer that from so and so persons. Did you hear that they called him